When I played through this for my first time, I hit Yuka's ending, right? And I thought, well, seems like it would be the best ending in the game. So therefore, I must have somehow threaded the needle and done all the right obscure choices and gotten this best ending on my first try. Later on in the game, I kept, trying for other endings, and I figured out that the Yuka ending is actually like the default. It's just the route you get if you don't do a specific task to get the other endings. So if I've only gotten 2 good endings so far, but of the 2, Yuka's is definitely the better written one. It seems like it was written first, and then the other ones are written kind of afterward. Which kind of gets me worried that basically they decided to write Yuka's ending to have the story they wanted. And then to make it seem like the game had more value or had more content, they tacked on these other ones. Which are somewhat as an afterthought. But because those are bonuses, they're more difficult to get. So you have this imbalance in difficulty and reward where the more difficult endings are not as worth getting as the easier endings. It takes me back to my Bionicle days, which I don't know if I should say takes me back because they're not really quite over yet, but where there is Minol, which is somewhat of an obscure game, but where you had these 2 insurrectionist organizations, the Brotherhood of Artaka and the Anarchists. To get the Brotherhood of Artaka's route finished, you had to do a bunch of grinding to finish this fetch quest, to get this key tablet piece to open a door to progress to the end of the route. And it was a lot of effort. The Brotherhood of the Anarchy end route was relatively simple, and you can complete it in about an hour. Well, it turns out that the Brotherhood of Artaka ending is a dud. Whereas the Anarchy ending is like the real ending. Even though the Brotherhood of Artaka ending required more effort. And there was a combined ending, but the combined ending wasn't really that much more than the Anarchy ending by itself. So either way, the Brotherhood of Artaka grinding didn't matter that much. So it's something I really dislike when games do that. Basically, the more effort you have to put in, the bigger reward you should get, right? The easiest ending should be the duddiest one. The hardest ending should be the best one, and so on. But we'll go on and we'll see. I did do stuff off recording again, which I know this is a disaster. I had to know whether or not, if you picked, it's just child's play when you're in that extra scene with Kurumi, whether or not you actually got to scare Yuka, and guess what, you don't. But I'm going to try something just cause. We're going to go here again. This save that I load so many times. Hit this. Follow Kurumi. I haven't actually ever hit go to the pool at this stage, so I don't know what that does. Anyway, whatever. Kurumi and Saki, because I want to trigger it. I want to trigger the Kurumi scene. I always hit go here. I don't know if that has any effect I don't want to have. With me. Yeah, you did. No response. Whatever. Get through this. Honestly, I was a bit surprised. Okay, it doesn't matter what I pick there. So if you hit this, I'll go through this dialogue on recording. Well then, do you have any better ideas? Don't ridicule Kurumi's plan if you can't think of anything yourself. Hey, I'm still capable of cooking something up. And think of something better. Sure. Well, if we use the Koniyaku, I gotta think of something. What do you... found it. This is when Yuka just shows up. was really loud over here, so I found it quickly. Okay. And then we skip to do Kurumi What's Wrong. This choice, it doesn't seem to show up every time you go with Kurumi to the shrine. It just shows up some of the times you go with Kurumi to the shrine. I don't know what the trigger is for it. I hit Don't Go before. If I hit Go, I don't think that really changes anything. Then I go, well, you did hit Go before when you did Yuka's route. Yeah, but then I didn't do all the Kurumi choices before. So if it's a specific set of choices, theoretically, if I vary it by one choice, I could land on something. I never picked I wouldn't save you either. You're crewing me out on all this. Go to Princess Beach. I don't think there's any choices there. Okay, then it gives you this Yuka thing. So this is gonna basically probably funnel right into the Yuka. Yuka ending. What? We didn't go to the shrine with Yuka. Huh. Let's see, do you lose your memories if that happens? Revived Dream. Okay, does Yuka still have her memories this time? Okay, so that doesn't that is weird in that it does you don't go to the shrine with Yuka, but you still go into the Yuka route. Huh. That's kind of strange. Let me see if there's anything in the Go dialogue. Which means I have to skip through all this again. Yeah, I wanted to skip the Saki thing. I don't think that's going to matter in this route. Even if this isn't really a route. Trying to hit a route. Pretty good. Show me what's wrong. Say hit go. Spirit, but on one condition. What's that? You must absolutely not tell Izumi-san that we went to the shrine. Okay, same dialogue. Okay. So is it okay.
お兄ちゃんもしもお兄ちゃん例えば四季の神
Okay.
じゃ
Okay, and then this happens. Hear her out. Then actually go to Luna Beach to help Izumi. Not at all. Try this. I can't skip this. That's interesting. Surprised by the sound, I frankly jump off to bed to my feet. When I look towards the door, I see Izumi-san. Kurumi's gone. This is different. Okay. Save the game. Yeah, well, this one's that we can overwrite. So when you do so previously, we got we triggered the Yuka route. Yuka, like after the barbecue, Yuka approaches us and wants to go to the Cherry Blossoms or to Viewpoint Park. And then after that, Yuka's like, Kurumi's missing. We need to find Kurumi. Right now, I've managed to get Izumi says Kurumi's gone. So now it looks as if we're going to go to the shrine with Kurumi, with Izumi, as opposed to with Kurumi. I mean, with Yuka. I'm mixing up the names. Which seems to imply not a Yuka ending. So this is good. We're getting somewhere here. So how to do this, we had to do everything Kurumi, positive, but then when we got to that choice with who to spend time with, on the 4th, we had to pick Izumi. Kurumi's gone. Izumi-san gathers the 4 of us in the living room and tells us what had happened. After you all left, I put all the barbecue tools in the storehouse and took a shower. I got out of the shower about 9:30, and then when I went up to the 2nd floor, Kurumi-chan was gone. Yes, I tried searching by myself, trying all the places that came to mind. Inside the shop, the area around Moon Beach, all of it. Do you know of any other places Kurumi-chan would go? Do you have any clues? Izumi-san softly closes her eyes and gently shakes her head. Any clues, huh? I remember the sight of Kurumi crying in the shade on the rocks at Princess Beach. Something bad must have happened to her. Anyway, sitting still here won't get anything solved. As she says this, Yuka stands upright. Why don't we all quickly split up and look for Kurumi? Alright, Makoto, why don't you try searching Princess Beach, Viewpoint Park, and the south side of the island? Alright. Haruka checked the harbor and the shopping district, then do a complete search of the east side. Yes. I'll try searching the area around Moon Beach one more time. And Izumi-san, please return to Luna Beach. What? If Kurumi-chan returns and you're not there, then she'll probably become the hunter instead of the other way around, so to speak. For some reason, I feel like this dialogue has happened. This sounds familiar. Like I've seen this dialogue. I see. Does the control... Yeah, I've seen it before. Huh. How did I see this before?
安心してください。わかった。
How did I see this before? わかった。 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 How did I see this bef Her gaze nervously shifts from left to right, looking all over her surroundings. It's clear she hasn't calmed down. Yuka-chan, what about me?
温泉
Check the hot springs, the tennis court, and the graveyard. The graveyard? Well, then let's begin the search right away.
見つかったらすぐルナビーチに戻
If
る
you find her, return to Luna Beach immediately. Got it? Yuka, Haruka, and Izumi-san split up at the T-junction at the foot of the hill. I decided to try Princess Beach out of the way first. Hey, Kurumi, I shout out towards the darkness. However, I get no response. Only the sound of the waves breaking on the shore breaks up the silence. When I suddenly look down, I see the scattered remains of the barbecue. Yeah, I've seen this. Okay. Cherry blossoms. Then eventually go to the shrine. Now, does Yuka intercept us on the way to the shrine?
スキヤホテルの人にも聞いてみたんだけどちょっとどこ行くのよ誠
Yeah, it looks like Yuka's going with us. Okay, can't skip this. Let me look at the backlog. Okay, Yuka says she has a bad feeling. Huh, I guess we don't get a choice this time. Okay. Can't skip this. That's interesting. I finish ascending the stairs and run through the grounds. I reach the front of the shrine and shout loudly, Kurumi. No response. Okay, they only heard man. Yeah, I can't skip this. This is weird. I resolve myself and step inside. Kurumi is in there. Okay. Or yeah, I remember reading this and go, this is a death scene. Or death, well, at the time I thought it was going to be a murder, so this is going to be the murder scene. Will not let me fast forward. Oh, we did not go with Yuka to the cherry blossoms. And we did not get the bell scene. The scene with the little girl and the bell. So you don't know about Yuka having the bell this time. It's a little different. You do have this bell, though. Okay, we do see a talisman. The spring rain at the end of the cape, together with the echoing bell, will free you from time. Okay. Now I can fast forward. Okay. Up. Suddenly I wake up. Kurumi route! I did it! I got a new route! Yes! gonna take a couple minute break and then resume this. Okay. New fresh story finally. It seemed like I had to make a very specific set of choices to get here, so this is a bit obscure. Hopefully it's worth the effort. Suddenly, I wake up. It's not that I had a nightmare or heard a loud sound. I just somehow woke up for no reason. Yeah, this happens sometimes. Usually it's like about an hour or half an hour before you would intend to wake up. It's like your body kind of has its own internal alarm. I take a look at my watch, which I placed on my bedside. 2:50 a.m. Usually it's not 2:50 a.m. It hasn't been an hour since I went to sleep. It hasn't even been an hour since I went to sleep. Okay, yeah, this is kind of weird. But I don't feel sleepy at all. My mind is surprisingly wide awake, so I try to do multiplication tables in my mind to help me go back to sleep. Okay, this is familiar internal monologue, but I know it's a different route because the game hints are giving me that it's a different route, so I try this countless times. It's no use, I'm too alert. I give up and get out of bed. I'm sure that there's several leftover beer cans from today in the fridge. Yeah, this is the same as like the Yuka ending one, how it starts. After drinking a can, my sleepiness will surely return. With that thought, I quickly open the door to my room. Which is true, alcohol makes you drowsy. Of course, there's no one in the living room. I let out a sigh in the quiet, empty room. I can hear Okuhiko snoring from up in the loft. Then all of a sudden, "Hey, wait!" Okuhiko suddenly shouts in a roaring voice. When I look up in surprise, "You've shown yourself, mysterious high-tech vacuum cleaner man." He's sucking me in. Yeah, it's starting the same as the Yuka route does. It seems he's just sleep-talking. Man, what kind of dream is he having anyway? I sigh as I open the fridge. Gulp, 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 gulp. Okay, here's the first difference. In this one, he actually drinks the beer. Whew, that's good stuff there. What old geezer-esque expression sounds like something Yuka would say? That old geezer-esque expression sounds like something Yuka would say, not me. Better watch myself. Gulp, 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 gulp. I don't know how it would take that many gulps to down a 12-ounce can, but okay. Maybe it's one of those tall cans. Man, that was good. I drank the beer up in one gulp. That was not one gulp. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gulps. I placed the empty can on the round table with a clunk. Suddenly, I feel intoxicated. Only after one beer? Okay, well, I wouldn't know. It's a really pleasant feeling. Although it's not like there's anything I really want to do, I casually decide to try going outside the lodge. So he drinks a beer to try to fall asleep, and instead he just wants to go walk around. Okay. Suddenly, I look up at the sky. Actually, it's supposed to work, but I take a deep breath. Up until now, I've never seen a starry sky as marvelous as this one. Okay, so continuity at least. I'm bathed in a pool of serene starlight. The twinkling stars shine brightly as they appear to dance. In the bewitching dark blue sky, I can even see the complete flickering of nebulas. Ah. I let out an odd sigh. The endlessly vast space, that's where the eternal flow of time lies. I realize the extreme tininess of my own existence. I feel a bit embarrassed. There's a lot to be said about that, but I'm gonna hold off. It's supposed to bother you. That is something that is supposed to bother you. But at the same time, I can't help feeling a trembling sense of ecstasy. The galaxy, the light of the Milky Way's flow is more beautiful than anything in this world. Yeah, but what's it do for you? I begin to start unconsciously staggering towards the light as if it's beckoning me. And I walk off the rail and fall. I bet that if I keep on going down the hill and head straight towards the ocean, I might be able to touch it. You only had one beer. No matter how far I go though, the light is always out of my reach. I get annoyed and quicken my pace. Sometimes I try to reach out for the stars. They don't respond. Instead, they seem to run across the sky away from me. Well, drunk musings are much better than, like, the romance stuff, so I'm happy. When I come to my senses, I'm walking on Moon Beach. I still can't catch the light. Standing on the top of the sand, I try to jump up with all my might, reaching out as far as I can. Just a little further. If you actually manage to touch that, you would find that it's, like, continuous fusion reactions due to gravitational pressure due to mass. You would die. I'll try jumping one more time. I jump again and again and again. Even I know that I'm drunk. It's because I'm tipsy that I'm acting like such a unintelligent donkey. I'll try jumping one more time and again and again. And as I attempt to catch the stars, I see someone out of the corner of my eyes. Now you would think this is Kurumi. On the roof of Luna Beach, someone is sitting down, hugging their knees. It's Kurumi. Hey Kurumi, what are you doing outside in the middle of the night? Same could be said for you. The sea. Huh? Did you turn into Haruka? Oh, yeah, that's right. You are Haruka. I can't hear you. Kurumi's looking at the sea. I see. Can I come over there too? Kurumi nods from the top of the roof. Then wait, I'll be there soon. Fortunately, the door to Luna Beach is unlocked. No, carelessly seems to be more apt term. I muse over this as I walk upstairs to the second floor. Now, fictional characters never pee. So, it's a bit weird that he drank a beer, he's never going to have an opportunity to pee, but whatever. In that small room, I can hear Izumi-san breathing in her sleep. We don't use the word snoring because we're trying to be polite. I guess. I stealthily open the window on the ceiling and climb up so that I don't wake her. The top of the roof feels much higher than I thought it was when I saw it from below. As I grip onto the roof with both of my hands, I move to the timid Kurumi and sit down beside her. New Kurumi art asset, which isn't really new because we saw it in the Haruka ending, which is Haruka ending cutscene, right? Even though the stars are so pretty, Kurumi isn't looking at them, but rather the vast ocean. There's a trace of loneliness in her gaze. Yes, her eyes look the same as they did when I saw her that one time at Viewpoint Park. Kurumi, you said you were looking at the ocean, didn't you? Yes. But the ocean's pitch black, so you can't see anything, right? You can. Then what can you see? Just then, all of a sudden. Do you know why the ocean's water is so salty? Well, it's because water goes into the ocean by a runoff off the continents, but it exits the ocean by means of evaporation. When the water evaporates, it can't take the salt with it. Or the solutes with it, so all the solutes collect in the ocean. Kirby asked me this question. That's how distillation works. I go with yeah. Yeah, I know. Save scumming's not my style. I have a save at the beginning of the Haruka route, the Kirby route, so I know like how to go at least get back on the route. Yeah, I know. The rock salt on mountains were dissolved by rainwater and were carried to the seas by rivers that flowed to them. It's then accumulated over billions of years, so as the ocean's water. The ocean's water is the moon's tears. That's why it's so salty. Because the moon was all alone. It was lonely and would cry during the night. Even so, the moon was still lonely, and so its tears gave birth to children. A lot of children. The child of the moon and the sea, the jellyfish. It's getting brought up, isn't it? Kurumi was looking at the jellyfish. Jellyfish? I try looking at the vast pitch black sea, but I can't see anything. Yeah, so in an earlier recording session, at the beginning of the recording session, I think it was just the immediately previous one, I said Haruka was a jellyfish because she's commonly associated with the sea. She was produced by cloning. Jellyfish can produce by cloning. They can also do sex, but they can do cloning. And she claims she had no heart. Jellyfish also have no heart. And the way she was drawn was kind of suggestive of that as well. So now Kurumi's bringing up Jellyfish, who Kurumi is from whom Haruka was cloned, even though Kurumi is younger, at least in her body, and both in her claim than Haruka. And we'd assume that happened because she jumped forward in time, somehow. But even weirder is she apparently looks younger than she even claims to be. So it's like, Haruka's a certain age, then she claims to be younger, even though she's the original. But then her appearance is of someone even younger than that. There's a lot of stages to it. I try looking out at the vast pitch black sea, but I can't see anything. Well, if you're drunk, obviously your vision is going to get obscured, but I don't know if he's that drunk. Kurumi wants to be like a jellyfish. You want to have no heart like Haruka, you mean? Just gently floating in the sea from day to night. If she lives like that, she'd be happy. She appears to be in deep thought as she broods over this. Does Kurumi have some kind of worries? Secrets that she can't tell anyone. Secrets. In that instant, a flash runs through my mind. Probably because I was drunk, I completely forgot Kurumi's secret. Kurumi might not be my real sister. Right. So this is why Izumi is required. Going with Izumi on the 4th is required for the Kurumi ending. Okay. Judging from the way Izumi-san said that, and from how frantic she got when Kurumi disappeared, I don't think that Kurumi knows this. Then what is Kurumi thinking about now? Did you know Kurumi loves floating in the water like a jellyfish? When she does that, it feels kinda nostalgic. Right, it has to do with her father. The truth is, Kurumi really wanted to go with everyone. To the pool and to the hot springs. Yeah, she goes neither. Well, if you wanted to, then why didn't you? It's okay, isn't it? Kurumi casts her eyes downward. She couldn't reveal her real age. She gently brushes the smooth, polished blue roof with her palm. She was scared. She muttered this in a lonely voice. She was scared everyone would hate her. Hate? There's a scar on Kurumi's back. There's a deep scar that looks as if it were cut and gouged out by a saw. The doctor said she got it when Kurumi was a baby. In addition to that, they say it probably happened shortly after she was born. But you know what? Papa, Mama, and Oni-chan are lying to Kurumi. They told Kurumi that she got that scar when she fell down the stairs when she was 3. But of course she got it from the kidnappers. Even though no matter how you look at it, there's no way Kurumi could have gotten that scar from falling down the stairs. Well, I don't know why they would hate her for it, though. I don't say anything. I don't know what I should say. Of course, there's no way you could have guessed this. Like, this is a big drop. I guess you have to guess that the whole breast size thing is just a fake out. There's like something. Everything's a fake out and there's something more to it. Every single thing. This is a Nutrikoshi game. After hearing Kurumi's unexpected confession, all I can do is silently listen to her story. And you know what else? This scar has given Kurumi quite a few painful memories. In middle school, there was this boy Kurumi was into. He was a senpai, older than Kurumi. Senpai just means upperclassman. But whether it was studying or playing, he taught Kurumi several things. Every day when school ended, he would stop by this nearby park and chat about trivial things. Even though it was just trivial chat, to Kurumi those were precious times, very precious. But then he saw her scar. Kurumi loved that senpai. But you know what? One day that senpai stopped talking to Kurumi. He wouldn't say a single word to her. He wouldn't even exchange glances with her when we passed by in the hallways. After school, Kurumi was all alone at the park, swinging on the swing.
夜が更けるまで
She stayed there until night, alone all that whole time, swinging away, swinging away.
その先輩が
Kurumi heard the reason why that senpai stopped talking to her and her friends later.
後で友達
Stopped talking to her from her friends later. That girl's got this giant scar on her back. I don't know how she got it, but at any rate, I'm completely through with her. There's no way I can go with her to the beach with that disgusting scar. It'd be way too embarrassing. This is kind of a contrivance to make up something for the plot, because real boys don't act like this, even the really jerky ones. Yeah, that's right, that's why I'm ignoring her. There's nothing more than a nuisance to me at this point. She's nothing more than a nuisance to me at this point.
正直言う
To
と
be honest, it was a great shock.
お腹のそれよりも
It left a scar on Kurumi much deeper than the one on her
そ
back.
れ以来
Ever since then, Kurumi's been afraid to show her back in front of other people. Yes, that's the reason why Kurumi didn't go to the pool and hot springs with everyone else. I'm incredibly angry, so angry that my body is shaking from it. I want to drag that senpai here and beat the living poop out of him. Usually not the way the attitude people have towards senpai in these things, isn't it? I want to kick him until his bones break and throw him to the bottom of the sea. Without realizing it, I clenched my hands into tight fists.
このこと今
Up
まで
until now, Kurumi's never told anyone about this.
多分
And Kurumi thinks she probably won't tell it to anyone after this.
知ってるのは
You're the only one who knows this, Oni-chan.
お兄ちゃんだから話す
Kurumi only told you because you're Oni-chan.
だからなんだってわけで
So don't tell anyone
ないん
else.
だ
After that, I'm unable to say almost anything to Kurumi. I feel that even if I try to comfort her about the scar, anything I say will sound half-hearted to her. In the end, only Kurumi knows her own pain. It's clear that Kurumi's emotional scars still haven't healed yet. But what can I do about it? Speaking words of kindness to her, anyone could do that. I'm sure if many people heard the story, a lot of them would try to gently comfort Kurumi. Okay, so something to scar somehow to deal with something to do with her kidnapping, something to do with why she looks so young, something to do with all that. Even so, that wouldn't eliminate Kurumi's scar. It's not something that's easy to cure. Use laser treatment. No. Well, then what should I do? My mind is in extreme chaos. I'm thinking about way too much right now. Izumi-san's story is still lurking in my heart as well. The shrine, the kidnapping, the possibility that they may not be real sisters. Which we still haven't figured out yet, because from Haruka's ending, Izumi said that Kurumi was her real sister. And the scar on her back. I mean, they are clones, right? They both are B-. Well, I guess they could be B- for some other... I keep saying B-, I'm used to saying grades. B-, just by coincidence, I guess. Tomorrow I'll ask Izumi-san to continue her story. That story might have some connection to the scar on her back. Maybe they're both clones of the same person. Like none of them are the real one. That's it will guaranteed to have some connection with the scar on her back because of the genre. The unbearably long night goes on. I suddenly wake up at almost noon. So all the other endings you generally hung out with the other character all day. This we skip half the day. Okay, it's abbreviated. I fell asleep without realizing it. My watch says 11:38 a.m. It's a lot later than when I normally wake up. There's no one in the living room. I wonder where they've all gone. I think I've never actually woken up at 11:38. I never managed to wake up that late. The latest I've woken up is like 10:30. That's rare. I wash my face, brush my teeth, change my clothes, and head out. My destination is obvious. I'm going to Luna Beach. With the sky as cloudy as it is, it's hard to believe that it was so starry last night. The multi-layered clouds completely cover the sky, but they don't seem like rain clouds. The dreary sky is starting to make me feel gloomy. At any rate, this weather is unpleasant. That actually is something that happens. Some people, if the it's always overcast will start feeling gloomy. Therefore, Seattle is a problem for them. The wind is eerily still. The trees aren't swaying and nor are the birds chirping. It's as if time has frozen. The sun is covered by thick clouds, so I don't even cast a shadow. Oni-chan! When I get halfway down the road, I see Kurumi running towards me from up ahead. Were you going somewhere now? Yeah, kinda. There's no way I can tell her I was going to Luna Beach. If Kurumi ends up tagging along, I can't carry out my plan to ask Kazumi-san for the rest of the story. It's vital that I trick her into going away. Kinda, you say? Could it be that you're going to see Oni-chan again? I'm shocked that she guessed it right. No, I was just going to walk around today. You see, this weather isn't good, but occasionally I like taking walks under the cloudy sky. Strange, huh? Strange, yeah, it sure is. More importantly, where are you planning on going? There's no one at the lodge. Kurumi came here to see Oni-chan. Me? Yeah, yesterday Kurumi tried to invite you to go see Crab Sumo. And now that I think about it, Kurumi suddenly ran off angrily yesterday for some reason. It's definitely on this road as well. So let's go watch some Crab Sumo. No, but I have to go take a walk. It's not like you were promised to walk with someone else, right? Well, that's true, but it's no problem at all, right? Overwrite this one. Okay. You're right. It's no problem at all, maybe. Right? I probably picked the short version. Let's go, let's see the Crab Sumo. Kurumi grabs my arm and skips down the hill road. At any rate, why is Kurumi so cheerful? I can't see any signs of the loneliness she showed last night while looking at the sea. Did she get over it after sleeping for one night? No, that's impossible. That scar wasn't something that was born just yesterday. Could it be that she keeps her loneliness locked tightly at the bottom of her heart? Is she trying too hard to act overly cheerful? When I think about that, I start to wonder if Kurumi's pure laughter is also completely fake. Gotcha! It hasn't even been 5 minutes since we arrived at Princess Beach, and yet Kurumi already caught a crab. Hey, don't trip. Kurumi grabs the edge of the rock and peeks down at the ditch as I call her from far away. It's alright, Kurumi is acting like a carefree child. Hey Mr. Crab, want to play rock, paper, scissors with Kurumi? Ready, set, rock, paper, scissors, rock. Kurumi won. It's like the Kurumi last night was fake. Could it be that was a dream? I was a little drunk after all. While looking at Kurumi acting so innocently, I seriously began to consider that possibility. A scar on her back, huh? Huh? What's wrong? No, it's nothing. Kurumi just picked up something a little interesting. Something interesting? The bell? It's always the bell, isn't it? Kurumi suddenly jumps off the rocks onto the sand and runs over to me. What's this something interesting? You want to see it? Yeah? Then you can if you beat Kurumi in rock, paper, scissors. Huh? Let's go. Rock, paper, scissors, go! Kurumi stretches the crab's claw out. Incidentally, I have paper. Yay, Mr. Crab won. Isn't this fun? Sumo Crab, are you glad? Kurumi happily addresses the crab. Geez, don't name it. I have paper. Like Kurumi said, you don't get to see it, Oni-chan. Kurumi puts the something interesting in her pocket. It dings. Just now I thought I heard something. Hey Oni-chan, hurry up. Let's watch the Crab Sumo. Yeah. Okay. So, I also saw this art asset in the Haruka Good Ending cutscene movie thing. Before long, the two crabs begin to sumo on a flat rock being used as the arena. Kurumi is serving as the referee and I am the audience. Kurumi and I hold our breaths in anticipation. Go! The small crab pushes off the larger crab with its small claws. That's different than the other way. If you go with Kurumi on the fourth, then the large crab beats the smaller crab.
押し出して
Okay.
楽の勝ち
Bring out sumo crab wins. Wait, is that the crab that beat me in rock, paper, scissors earlier? I guess giving it a name was a good way to distinguish them. Kurumi pets both the winning and the losing crabs equally. Even though petting a crab doesn't make any sense, but whatever. After that, she lets the losing crab go while waving sorrowfully at it. It's quite a pleasant scene. I think it would be kind of rare for like small kids to like to play with crabs because the smaller crabs are very textury, and humans have this kind of innate aversion to like crustacean texture and like narrowly spaced folds. It's like if you saw a very big bug, it's not necessarily scary because it's big. It's because its usually fine features are now really big. You get to see like its face in really high detail. I should be alright if I ask Azumi-san about that story tonight. I think this to myself. I'm not giving up, just putting it on hold. Well, the problem is you're going to get looped, and you have to find out what the story in like a second pass through the timeline, unfortunately. I just want to look at Kurumi as she is right now forever. Kurumi's smile seems like an angel's. That angelic smile has blown away all traces of uneasiness in my heart. Something has begun to sprout within me. I finally realize what it is now. It's my want to watch over Kurumi forever. Okay. After almost an hour, the crab sumo has ended. You wouldn't want to be tied to someone forever. It is quite the splendid victory for Mr. Sumo Crab. As a reward, we give the crab a year's worth of seaweed by wrapping them around his claws, then return to the sea. Having finally reached a point where I can take a break, I'm suddenly assaulted by hunger. Now that I think about it, I still haven't eaten at all today. I'm so hungry. Mutterless groaning. Hee 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 hee. Huh?
こんなことだ
Kurumi thought this would happen.
じゃーんくるくるくる
Ha, ta-da, it's a kuru miracle. Kurumi opens a basket she's been holding. Whoa, are these rice balls? Heh I've eaten rice balls before. And why would you ever eat that? Maybe I just got poorly made ones. Was this Azumi-san again? Kurumi shakes her head. Which means that you made these, Kurumi? Kurumi proudly nods. Oh, thank you. Well, then I'll get to it right away. Time to eat. I take a bite. I munch 6 times. What's this texture? Lying on the top of my tongue is something like a small grain. When I bite on it, I feel an exquisite lumpy sensation. Okay, it's gonna dirty joke me now, isn't it? It has a moderately salty taste with an aura like the seashore that's spreading all over my mouth. So basically, she used seawater to cook that. I never tasted it up until now, but it's so good that I feel like I've died and gone to heaven. Kurumi, what is in these? I'm gonna say something nasty and you're gonna be like, ugh! But Kurumi is a girl, so caviar. Oh, okay, never mind. Ah, caviar, so that's why it's so good. I thought I was gonna do something nasty. Wait, caviar? You mean one of the 3 greatest delicacies of the world?
そうだよ
That's right. Is it the real deal? Of course, it was in the fridge at the shop, so Kurumi borrowed some. Oops. Does Izumi-san know about this? Nope. Nope, then is it alright? Caviar is ridiculously expensive, isn't it?
大丈夫大丈夫
It's alright. Oni-chan isn't the kind of person who will notice it. Even though you said she won't notice, it seems that you use quite a lot. How much caviar did you use anyway?
ね
1 bottle of it. Kurumi completely used up that bottle.
リンゴとな
But if Kurumi gets rid of the bottle, then on the other hand, Oni-chan won't notice anything, right? Izumi-san, your sister is amazing. Hey, Oni-chan.
ご飯食べ終わったら
When we're done eating, you want to do something fun? Something fun? My hunger satisfied, we rest for a while and then walk towards Viewpoint Park. Now the question is, does it actually taste good if you put caviar in rice balls? My answer is no, probably not, because rice balls don't taste good in the first place. You want to do something fun? We came here because I decided to abide by Kurumi's words. However, as usual, she didn't tell me any details. It'd be more fun to find out when you get there yourself, she said. When we walked down the road surrounded by the cherry blossom trees, Kurumi suddenly asked me something. Hey, what's your dream, Oni-chan? I dreamed that Yuka died because the shrine fell on her. Dream, huh? I have something vague, but nothing in particular. You could really call a clear dream. What's yours? Kurumi's dream is to become a wife. We call this an MRS degree. I mean, that's fine. Don't pick the wrong dude. Kurumi bets you think it's a rather dull and ordinary, don't you? No, I don't. I think it's good. It sounds very girly. Kurumi has always wanted a warm family. You see, with her family, her papa and mama do nothing but research, so they rarely come home. I see. To become a wife, to have a warm family, what an ordinary dream. But even though it's ordinary, Kurumi thinks that it's a very happy thing. Okay. When Kurumi's husband comes home from work all exhausted, she'll first give him a bowl of warm soup. She'll prepare a warm bath for him and pour him a cup of warm sake. Sake? Our kids will get between us, and we'll have all warm smiles rise to our faces. In the summer, we'll leave the windows open, and the whole family will watch a night game on TV while listening to the wind chimes. In the winter, we'll wrap ourselves up in kotatsu and watch cold medicine commercials while eating oranges. Cold medicine commercials, huh? Does Japan have direct-to-consumer pharmaceutical advertising? I guess cold medicines are over the counter, so that's allowed. Whatever. We won't need anything special, just ordinary days, as a very plain, ordinary family. At night, Kurumi will bury her face in her husband's warm chest and sleep soundly. That alone will be enough to make Kurumi happy. Yeah, that's definitely happiness. Something like that is true happiness. Probably. Okay. Kurumi listens to me and gives me a slightly embarrassed smile. The cherry blossom petals flutter and fall down, and one of them lands on the tip of Kurumi's nose. Kurumi gently brushes it off with her fingertip while giving another embarrassed smile. Hey, Oni-chan. Will you marry me? Your chest. Is it warm? Well, I mean, most people's body temperature is about 99 Fahrenheit. They don't vary a whole lot. The average is 98.6. Mine's like 98.2 usually. So I guess you could say my chest isn't warm, but that's still pretty warm, honestly. It's still over 98. Skin temperature tends to be slightly not as hot, not as warm as blood temperature. Apparently, that's what the Fahrenheit scale is based off of. Is 100 Fahrenheit is about the temperature of the blood of a living horse. Which, I mean, it's close to the temperature of the blood of a human, right? It's just like about a couple, like 1.4 increments higher, or they could have just been off by a little bit. And then 0 is like I forgot what 0 is. It's something silly. It's like the low at the coldest place they knew of on Earth at the time or something. Obviously, we know it gets a lot colder. Even in the United States, in the lower 48. It was to minus 100 or something in places in Wyoming. Anyway. Huh? Come on, let's hurry up and do that something fun. Kurumi drags me by my hand and guides me towards Viewpoint Park. For some reason, although the sky is gray, my heart is as clear as a blue sky on a sunny day. Kurumi and I arrive at Viewpoint Park and sit down on the tiles with a thumb. I will say though, my chest is very bony. When we do, Kurumi reaches into the bottom of the empty basket and slowly takes something out. Something thin and square wrapped in plastic. What's that? It's Kurumi magic. Huh? Origami. It's origami. Okay. Now what are you doing with it? What, isn't it obvious? What do you do when you have origami? You hang it up? Oni-chan, can you fold origami? I could fold two things, I think. If it's folding cranes, I can do that. What, that's the best you can do? Isn't it enough if I can just fold cranes? It's not. Guess you're level 3 with 514 EXP. Alright then, Kurumi will teach you. Please do so. And thus Professor Kurumi's Origami 101 class begins. And you do this over here and fold it like this. Like this. Wrong, don't use that mountain folding style, use the valley folding style. I once actually knew what these meant. Oh, like this? No, first you turn it inside out and only fold the left side like a valley. Origami is really hard. No. Fold 6 times and bend 2 times. Rip. No, it's not like I was trying to. Here. Kurumi pulls out a new sheet of origami paper and gives it to me. Let's start again from the top. Professor Kurumi is surprisingly strict. Alright, it's done. Let's see it. Ta-da, it's a Makoto masterpiece. Well, I did a pretty good job, wouldn't you say? Maybe a 62 out of 100. The tail is completely off mark. Professor Kurumi really is strict. But for a beginner like me, it's way too difficult to make a good turtle out of the blue. Well, Kurumi supposes that's true. It seems even veterans fail with turtles sometimes. They say that amongst the origami maniacs, it takes about 3 years to perfect a peach and chestnut tree, and about 8 years for a turtle. Incidentally, what's Kurumi's been up to, thinking that, I look towards her. Why did you make so many? In a mere 10 minutes, Kurumi had folded many different origami. However, everything is so accurately folded that there isn't even an inch of a gap where the two ends of the paper meet. She's a genius. Isn't it amazing? Kurumi says this proudly. As she says this, I carefully pick up one of them in between my fingers. What's this? A horned beetle. Then what's this? King Gerardo. And this is Takeda Shingen, this is Morning Glory, this is Okinawa Summit. Wow, there's a lot of variation. Wait, the Okinawa Summit? Oh, but Kurumi, there's one more left, isn't there? Ah, this. She says that Kurumi takes the last one left and places it in her palm. This wrinkled origami, what is it? This is Oni-chan. Huh? This is Oni-chan when he's smiling. It doesn't resemble me, no matter how you look at it. It doesn't resemble me at all, does it? It doesn't look anywhere near as... Okay. Do you know about that? Kurumi thinks you look like it. Well, whatever. Kurumi will give you this, as commemoration. Kurumi places me on my palm. It's a modest present from Kurumi. This wrinkled, smiling face. An origami that Kurumi folded herself. Does it really look like me? We wouldn't know because the game never shows your face in very good detail. Sometimes it does vaguely. Although I think this... Thank you. I mutter these words and carefully place me in my pocket. A smile arises on Kurumi's face and she looks at me with kindness. That was too hard of a thing for them to draw, obviously. After that, Kurumi and I continue to fold origami for an hour. Before I know it, I realize that Kurumi's childlike innocence is rubbing off on me. We used up all the origami, the black papers, the silver papers, and the gold papers. However, there's one sheet of white origami paper left. Kurumi places all the completed origami works in an empty basket like a mountain. She closes the lid and with a snap lowers the snap fastener. And then without a word, Kurumi takes the last white paper and begins to fold it. I keep my mouth shut and silently watch her skillful handling. It's done. It's a white paper airplane. It hasn't been folded in the traditional style, but rather made using the Kurumi style unique folding method. Okay. Kurumi will call it Kurumi's Unit 17. Unit 17? Yep, Kurumi spent day and night researching and researching to come up with the best way to fold it, so it would fly the farthest. My answer would be the simplest one. In other words, this is version 17. That's right. Ah, but this folding method is a trade secret. You mustn't tell anyone about it no matter what. A fold is a fold is a fold. Kurumi still hasn't told anyone either, so... Yeah, I understand. When she hears my response, Kurumi lightly nods and quickly stands up. She walks over towards the handrail and throws it into the ocean. I also get up and follow after her. Hey, take a look. Kurumi says this. Go. And throws the paper airplane into the sky. Unit 17 glides in a straight line, flying over the windless sea. Endlessly flying without destination. It's like it's drawing a straight white line. I steadily begin to lose sight of the airplane as it gets smaller. All I see is its triangular wings, and before long, it's nothing more than a dot. I can't even see any ripples. You see, Kurumi is happy. I don't know why, but I become happy as well. The laws of physics have been defied. Kurumi and I spontaneously hold hands and leave Viewpoint Park, the park where Unit 17 took off on its first and last flight. I just realized, isn't the title of the third game Forever 17? So, the title, Never 7, it's 7 because you don't get to the 7th, right? You end up in a time loop. When you get to the 6th, you get sent back to the 1st. Except when you get a good ending, and then you go to the 7th, right? Remember, the second game is called Remember 11, and which I hope it's not 11 days long instead of 7. The third game is called, I think, something like Forever 17. I don't know if that's gonna come up, but... Unfortunately, Remember 17 isn't a title. Was it today fun? We're on our way back to Luna Beach. It was an ultra good day, wasn't it? You're right. And they made 12 Riven and then I think Code 18. Code 18 wasn't written by Uchikoshi, but it's like tries to be another Infinity game. Oni-chan, did you have fun too? Of course. I smile as I answer. Yay. There's no wind, but because of these clouds, it's cold right now. However, I only feel warmth through my hand. It's Kurumi's warmth. Hey, Oni-chan. Kurumi wants to show you something, okay? Show me something. If it's you, Oni-chan, then she can show you. Kurumi says this and suddenly brings me into a thicket on the side of the road and takes her shirt off, right? What is it? Why did you suddenly drag me in here? Kurumi doesn't answer. She remains silent and turns around for some reason, her back facing me. Just then, whoosh. All of a sudden, Kurumi raises all the clothes off her upper back of her body up to her neck. I can now see Kurumi's small back. On it is that deeply engraved scar. Kurumi. I instinctively take a step backwards. That's because her scar is so horrifying. No, I mustn't divert my eyes. This is Kurumi's courage. It's proof that she trusts me. I say to myself and look at the scar. To be honest, it's a scar that makes me sad just seeing it. The pointy, zigzag lines of the scars. Lots and lots of such lines are running down her tiny, narrow back. Rough bulges are protruding unnaturally on the otherwise smooth surface of her bare skin. It's a reddish, violent discoloration. It does nothing but give off a strong sense of sadness. I don't know what to say. I can't find the words. It's no big deal, don't worry about it. No. Those aren't the words Kurumi wants to hear. But what do I say? Whoosh. Kurumi lowers her clothes. She turns around to face me. It's alright, you don't have to say anything. All you have to do is think Kurumi was selfish for wanting to show it to me. Just seeing it is enough. Kurumi. Well then, shall we hurry back?
ルンルンルンくるみちゃんランランランお兄ちゃん
The Japanese was enough for that. Kurumi is back to the way she was just minutes ago, as if nothing happened. What? What? What am I doing? Even though Kurumi courageously showed it to me, even though she trusted me, why am I so down? The scar has nothing to do with anything. Kurumi is Kurumi, isn't she? I thought to myself that I wanted to watch over her forever, right? Then what should I do right now? Shouldn't I be acting normal the way I usually am? I won't hurt Kurumi anymore. Kurumi? Why don't we, Sean? Kurumi, you love things like haunted houses, right? Huh? Do you hate them? No, Kurumi loves them. Alright, then when we get back to the mainland, let's go to an amusement park. You'll take Kurumi? Yeah.
絶対だよ
For real? For real.
忘れたとか言わないでよ
Don't say I forgot when it happens, you won't, right? I won't.
指切りしよ
Then let's pinky swear. Kurumi takes out her thin pinky and wraps it around
う
mine.
指切りけん
Cross my heart and hope to die if you lie. What should we do if you lie? What do you think?
そうだな
Let's see. If you lie, kiss Kurumi on the cheek, okay? Kiss her on the cheek? My chest feels all hot. Yeah, I got it. I give a deep nod as I answer. On our way back, Kurumi and I keep our pinkies wrapped around each other as we walk back to Luna Beach. We meet up with Izumi-san and have dinner at Luna Beach.
おいでねおいでね
And so then Mr. Sumo Crab, Kurumi excitedly tells Izumi-san about today's events. Izumi-san quietly listens to her talking while smiling gently. She's such a cheerful dinner. There's not even a single bit of gloominess to be found. Not from the music flowing from the jukebox. Not from the waves constantly going in and out of the shore. Not from Izumi-san's homemade corn soup. Not from Kurumi's face. Not from Izumi-san's face. All of them are warm. I am completely intoxicated by the comfortable mood in the sunshine-like warmth. By the way, Kurumi,
冷蔵庫にあったキャ
do you know what happened to the caviar in the fridge? Forever in suspense. It's probably past 10 now, isn't it? Seems Kurumi finally got tired of talking, so she headed to Luna Beach's second floor while rubbing her sleepy eyes. At last, I'm finally in a situation where Izumi-san and I are alone. In that time, I keep reminding myself that I have to ask Izumi-san about that story no matter what. I can continue to tell myself that I ought to start talking to her about it, but I keep feeling like the timing isn't exactly right. Instead, we continue to chatter on about trivial things. Exactly 2 hours have passed since Kurumi went up to go to sleep. The date display on my watch has already changed to the 6th. Alright, well then perhaps it's about time that I go to sleep as well. Izumi-san tries to stand up. Izumi-san! I frantically try to stop her. And then I finally decide to ask about that story. Izumi-san, could you please tell me the rest of that story from yesterday?
昨日の話
The story from yesterday, what story? The story you were telling me on that pier. In that instant, Izumi-san's expression turns tense. Right, that story. Huh.
誠くん
Makoto-kun,
今更だと
you might think, why are you saying this now? But that story, I don't think it's something I should have told you. Huh?
やっぱりあの
After all, that story is something I feel that I mustn't tell anyone else.
くるみの
For Kurumi's sake. Izumi-san, I saw it. I saw the scar on Kurumi's back. But I said nothing. To be honest, it was much more horrifying than I ever could have imagined. Kurumi's scar in that story. There's a connection between them, isn't there? Right now, it seems that Kurumi is still bothered by that scar. One way or another, I want to heal Kurumi's emotional scars. She didn't get that scar from falling down the stairs, did she? She got that scar from falling from the cliff. Anyway, she probably got it shortly after she was born. Kurumi's realized that, you know. That what was the real cause? The shrine, Kurumi's kidnapping, the fact that she may not be your real sister, they're all connected somehow, right? Please tell me, Izumi-san. Izumi-san keeps her eyes firmly on the ground, her mouth tightly shut. At this rate, she's not going to tell me anything, is she? Just what happened to Kurumi as a baby. If I don't know that, then I don't think I can heal Kurumi's scars. No, more importantly, it might be that I just want to learn everything about Kurumi above everything else. I want to find the main cause of Kurumi's pain and take away that suffering. I have to. Kurumi is. Izumi-san suddenly starts speaking. Kurumi is my real sister. Okay, that clears that up. Even if we're not related by blood, she's still my real sister. Ever since long ago, Kurumi and I were always together. Because our parents were always away from home, ever since she was a kid, I've been Kurumi's substitute mother. From aiding her with cooking to her troubles with homework, I saw it all. Before I knew it, in the blink of an eye, it was my duty to attend her parents' visit days, and her parent-teacher conferences. Now that I think about it, when Kurumi was in 3rd grade, her homeroom teacher gave her the assignment to please draw a picture of your mother. But what Kurumi drew was a picture of me. When she got home, Kurumi said the teacher scolded me and cried. At that time, I was in middle school, but I immediately stormed into the elementary school staff room to yell at that teacher. And you know what? Kurumi stuck her tongue out at that homeroom teacher while hiding behind my back. She was always following me, tottering all the way. We brushed our teeth together, were together when we slept, even when I got phone calls from boyfriends, Kurumi was by my side. I was the one who understood Kurumi the best. And conversely, I thought Kurumi was the one who understood me the best as well. That Kurumi, there's no one more important to me than her. Because Kurumi's the person that she is. It doesn't matter if we're not related by blood. So, still not cleared up, actually. That's why I've had enough. I'll keep her away from the shrine no matter what. As for that story, I've already decided to bury it deep within me. After Izumi-san finishes talking, her eyes become very relaxed. There's absolutely no way I can pry any further. Well, it'll come out, because this is how these work. This is Izumi-san and Kurumi's problem. In the first place, they skip something. In the first place, it might have been something that an outsider like me shouldn't have gotten involved with in the first place. That's what I think. And at that time, we hear a sound. We then turn around. Kurumi? My heart stops. She overheard everything. Is it true? Is it really true? Kurumi isn't Oni-chan's sister? You're wrong, Kurumi. That's... You liar. Everyone is deceiving Kurumi. I'm telling you that's... You liar! Kurumi starts to push right out of Luna Beach. Kurumi! She bolts open the door and runs outside. I look for Kurumi, looking left and right. But she's at the shrine. She's gonna run to the shrine. I can hear footsteps on the sand. She's at Moon Beach. Okay. I jump over the banks and land on the sandy beach. I see Kurumi's back as she runs south towards the beach. Down to the beach, that is. I start running, kicking off the sand. I fill my body with strength as I run. The sand flies up behind me as I run across it. Kurumi's getting closer and closer. Sand gets in my shoes. Kurumi! I firmly grab her slim arm. The two of us stagger and pitch forward. I regain my balance and turn Kurumi around. Another Kurumi art asset. Kurumi! Kurumi is crying. Large teardrops begin to pour out of her eyes. She keeps wiping them away with her palms, but more tears just keep on coming. Her shoulders repeatedly tremble as she tries as hard as she can to hold back her weeping. Kurumi's desperately trying to say something. You're the same as... You're the same as him. You're the same as that senpai. Well, being the same as that boy has a negative connotation this time. Senpai? There's like... He was an upperclassman to Kurumi, so he'd be in the same class as Yuka. Like, try to connect them. He has like this plus side and this minus side. It's like the same guy. By senpai, she must be referring to that guy from her middle school days. Everyone's lying. Even Oni-chan. Even though Kurumi trusted you. Kurumi, what are you talking about? Kurumi heard you just now. Heard? It's much more horrifying than I ever could have imagined. Horrifying, you said that, didn't you? I feel like a dagger has been thrust into my heart. I definitely said that. Horrified. Horrified. I said that. Everyone Kurumi loves just does nothing but always deceive Kurumi. We are not deceive. Stop lying already. Papa, Mama, Oni-chan, and Oni-chan. Kurumi hates them. Kurumi hates. Kurumi, you're wrong. We were just thinking of... I hate you. I hate everyone. Kurumi? Leave me alone. Just leave me alone already. Kurumi breaks off into a run. Rain begins to fall from the sky. I have to go after her. If I let her go now, then she'll never recover. Oh, whatever that means. I pick up the pursuit. Kurumi. I call out to her to stop, but she doesn't turn around. Kurumi climbs up the bank. She jumps down to the other side and vanishes. I race to the top of the bank. Once I'm there, my eyes scan the beach. She's gone. She's nowhere to be found. That music starts. I look everywhere, but there's no sign of her. It's called Ouch, right? Oh, Confusion Mind. Okay. I descend the bank. I run to the west, down the road alongside the coastline. I continue to run for a while, but there's still no trace of her in this direction. I go back the way I came. Kurumi! I scream even though I know there's no way she'll answer. In the end, I'm back in front of Luna Beach. Kurumi? Where'd you go, Kurumi? Something cold and wet hits me on the forehead over and over again. Rain, huh? It's beginning to drizzle. In order to avoid it, I go under the overhang of Luna Beach, which is pretty small, according to the painting. Let's try to get to the loop before I quit recording. But we're just a little bit past midnight. We haven't gotten to like 4 a.m. yet. I look at the rain for a while. A place Kurumi would go, a place Kurumi would go, a place Kurumi would go. A place Kurumi would go, come to think of it. Kurumi remembers this place. Kurumi's been here before. That shrine had a very nostalgic scent to it. It was the smell of the traditional clothes that Kurumi got as hand-me-downs from Oni-chan when she was younger. I start running once more. By the time I arrive in front of the long staircase, the drizzle has become a constant rain. I wipe off the raindrops from my soaked forehead with the back of my hand. Kurumi is definitely up ahead. I begin to run up the stairs. In the deep darkness, the shrine stands out like something faintly white against the dark background. The raindrops pelting the roof become a thin mist that envelops the shrine. Its faint and gray appearance make it look like a mirage. I tumble into the illusion-like shrine, while slipping across the stone paving wet from the rain. She's not here. She's not here. Kurumi isn't here either. You have to go through that hole. You gotta go through the hole. Frustrated, I can feel my blood rush through my body. I'm enraged for running all this way for nothing and being unable to voice my frustrations. My restlessness reaches nearly unrestrainable levels and just seems to burst open. I vent my irritation by kicking one of the shrine's pillars as hard as I can. Even so, I'm still mad. I wander aimlessly around the shrine. Suddenly, I look at my watch. 6 Saturday, 12:54 a.m. The sound of that bell. No, that's wrong. That's different sound than the bell in my dream. It's the bigger bell, right? On the altar. It's the altar bell. A bell dangling from a small building modeled after a small Shinto shrine that rests on the altar. There's probably a draft blowing from somewhere that's causing the bell to swing. Bell. 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 It can't be. What if by chance Kurumi has that bell right now? At that moment, cold shivers run up my spine. No, that's impossible. No, she does have it. She found it on Princess Beach. I definitely threw that bell into the ocean on the night of the 1st. But what if that bell were washed ashore to the beach by waves? Today is Saturday, April 6th. If that dream was a prophetic dream, then I finally shake my head and shake off that delusion. There's no way. No matter what, that's absolutely impossible. Even though it happened in every other ending. I bite down my lip hard. The shrine's exterior, I stare at the edge of the rooftop, where rain is flowing down like a waterfall. Rage surges in my heart like billows. I try to wash away that hopeless dream, it just won't disappear. Like a deep stain, whenever I try to wipe it away, it just spreads even more throughout my body. Anyway, I need to keep looking. There's no way I can leave her alone as she is right now. The cold rain. I run once again to the rumbling, roaring downpour. I keep running as fast as I can as the rain beats on me. I keep looking for Kurumi. They got to 1 a.m. Princess Beach, the sand on the shore has become hardened from all the water.
ねえカニさんくるみとじゃんけんしようか
Hey, Mr. Crab, want to play rock, paper, scissors with me? Suddenly I hear Kurumi's voice. I turn around to survey my surroundings. However, no one's there. Kurumi is nowhere to be found. The cold rain is stealing away more and more of my body heat. My field of vision becomes hazy and I'm unable to focus on anything. My consciousness becomes dim due to the dizziness in my head. Kurumi. Huh? No, it's nothing. Kurumi just picked up something a little interesting. Something interesting. It couldn't have been that thing that she picked up back then. Oh, yes, it was, Makoto. That was the bell. Is that it? Is that really it? I shiver in fear. The strength throughout my body begins to disappear. Against my will, I struggle to take a step forward. Just like that, I stagger as I leave Princess Beach.
あお兄ちゃんくるみはお兄ちゃんに会いに来たの
More flashback dialogue.
だから行こうカニ君もやりに
More flashback dialogue.
お兄ちゃん面白いとこ行こっかいいからいいから
My bedroom. An empty bedroom. So she didn't come to the lodge after all. Oni-chan. Hey, Oni-chan. Geez, if you don't wake up soon, aren't you going to be late? This auditory hallucination still won't stop. Kurumi's voice continues to echo in my eardrums. It's like they're rebuking me. Moon Beach. The shopping district. The harbor. She's nowhere to be found. I haven't seen this background before. I've wandered all around the island searching for Kurumi. I drag along my numb feet, like I haven't seen the night and rain version of it. I finally arrive at Viewpoint Park, but in the end, I'm unable to find Kurumi. We're close to 5 a.m. now. We're getting there. In the darkness, I hear the sound of the waves crashing against the cave. It seems like the darkness itself that's enveloped the world is letting out a furious roar. Viewpoint Park. This is where I first saw Kurumi's eyes clouded by sadness.
くるみね
Did you know Kurumi loves floating in the water like a jellyfish?
そうしてると
When she does that, she feels kind of nostalgic.
人は
The truth is, Kurumi really wanted to go with everyone. To the pool and to the hot springs. I called Kurumi's scar horrifying. I'd intended to take that pain away, but the truth is I was avoiding it. I loathe that scar. I can't even touch it. I can't heal Kurumi's scar. Her true scar is the one that's been very deeply engraved into the innermost depths of her heart. You keep saying this, but whatever. I wonder what she's thinking about right now. The scar. Her relation by blood. Both of them were huge shocks to her. And then this is when plastic surgeons would argue that their job actually means that helps people. But anyway. No, if that's the case, then is Kurumi really at the shrine? The scar in her blood relationship, and the fact that there's no doubt that the shrine's connected to her somehow. Kurumi probably already knows that. I said something similar in my talk with Izumi-san. When I was making those inquiries to Izumi-san, Kurumi heard me say those things and thought to herself, I'll try going to the shrine one more time. The instant I think that, the eastern sky starts to become bright. The morning sun slowly creeps overhead. However, its light is completely shrouded by heavy rain clouds. I ascend the long staircase. The night has been completely vanquished by the dawn. I can't see anyone in the shrine grounds, hazy from the rain. The ground is violently pounded by swarms of large raindrops. The sound of the rainfall is so loud that it feels like it could erase the whole world itself. I take a breath of wet air. My nasal cavities are pierced by the cold. The whole grounds have become one large water puddle. I take 2 steps, slowly walking into the puddle of water. The cold sound of my footsteps as I walk across the water echoes in the mist. I get closer and closer to the dim, white, mirage-like shrine. Its vague features gradually start to become clearer. I can see that the door to the shrine has been thrown open. Dust from inside the door flutters about in the darkness. With each step forward that I take, the inner details of the shrine become clearer and clearer. It's as if all the particles of darkness in the shrine disappear swiftly and soundlessly, like they were sucked up by something. Before long, I find her. A girl silently standing still inside the shrine. It's Kurumi. Kurumi. Kurumi! I kick off the ground. I run in order to push my way through the pelting rain. I use whatever energy I have left to sprint towards her. Even though I trip and stumble over puddles, I still keep running. Yo, Kurumi again. I scream again. But the ruthless sound of the rain drowns out my voice. Kurumi doesn't notice me. She's standing stock still in the middle of the shrine dejectedly, as stiff as a doll. But I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Kurumi's right before my eyes. Just a few more steps and I'll have reached that short staircase. Kurumi. Nearly out of breath, I barely manage to wring out my voice. Kurumi quietly turns around. Gently, without a sound.
お兄ちゃん
She mutters this in a lonely voice. At that very instant, the earth shakes. I lose my footing and fall forward, crashing onto the ground face first. It's a raging earthquake. The violent tremors come in waves. I feel like I'm in the belly of a writhing monster. The suffering, anguished, raging earth. The thick pillars make a cracking sound as they grate. Small splinters come falling from the ceiling as it tears apart. When I look up, I see that the shrine is now slanting left and right like a swaying heat haze. It's collapsing. The shrine is collapsing. Kurumi. At this rate, Kurumi will. I push myself up with my hands, but the moment I try to stand up, a mountain of rubble. Where the shrine once stood is now a cruel mountain of rubble. The broken pillars, the wreckage of the roof has been smashed to pieces. I start to reach for a thick plank of wood. With all my strength, I brace myself as I try to lift it. However, the plank is way too heavy and won't budge an inch. I muster even more strength as I try to put something I've got into lifting it. The grave sound of creaking echoes. My hands, wet from the rain, slip. My fingernails burst open and pop off. Okay! I feel a sharp pain, bright red flesh blade comes pouring from the fingertips that have had their nails torn off. Even so, I don't give up. I mustn't be bothered with the pain. I don't care if my bones break or if my flesh is torn off. Make an Eminem song. I'll use everything I've got to put so much brutal power into my body that my blood vessels almost rupture and use it to lift up the thick plank. Get the biggest pump imaginable. Kurumi. Looking at Kurumi's ghastly pale, almost transparent cheeks, I feel like she might shatter into 1,000 pieces if I touched her cheek. As if she were a doll made of glass. Her heavily dangling palm is clutching onto a small fragment of light. The bell. It's that bell, that cold silvery light, that dull crimson string. Before long, the bell begins to quietly slip out of the palm. It then slips out and falls. I bury my face in Kurumi's chest. My body's trembling gradually intensifies. In my arms, I can feel her cold, wet skin. Her thin limbs are stiff. This is Kurumi's empty shell. Why? My hoarse voice alone fills this empty void.
まんまるお月様は一人ぼっち
Because the moon was all alone, it was lonely and would cry during the night.
まんまるお月
Even so, the moon was still lonely, and so its tears give birth to children, a lot of children. The child of the moon and the sea, the jellyfish.
くるみは
Kurumi's looking at the jellyfish.
くるみの夢は
Kurumi's dream is to become a wife.
お母さんのあったかい
Okay, we're gonna get a montage of old Kurumi quotes.
お兄ちゃんの夢はできたと名付けてだけどこの折り方くるみもまだ誰これはお兄ちゃんが
I put my hand in my pocket and pull out the me that Kurumi folded. I place me on my palm. I grasp with all my might. Kurumi, why?
リリケンマンウスがそうだなそれじゃほっぺにチュー
Okay, we made a promise, right? We pink as swore it, didn't we, to go to haunted house together? It's the amusement park. What should I do? What should I do, Kurumi?
ねえお兄ちゃん
Hey, Oni-chan. Kurumi wants to show you something,
お兄
okay?
ちゃんになら
Okay, some more Kurumi
何も
quotes.
くるみが勝手に見せたいって見てもらえただけでもう嘘つかない嫌いみんな
I curse the earth. Well, good luck with that. Okay. I curse the heavens, I curse God. and I feel disgust, hatred, and indignation towards myself. I tear at my chest, wanting to gouge out my heart and crush it as hard as I can with my own hands. But because of my lack of fingernails, I was unable to. Without an outlet to voice my rage, my whole body shudders as I try to restrain it. I gnaw and grind my molars. The dark blood comes overflowing out of my mouth. If I could have one wish granted, it would be to see Kurumi's angelic smile once again. I glare at the sky and bare my teeth, as I scream at the top of my lungs, wringing out every single emotion from within me. I soon begin to fall to the bottom of hell. I wake up, I kick the covers off the bed with all my strength. Still half asleep, I blankly stare at space. It's a familiar ceiling. I realize I'm freezing, my body soaked with sweat all over. I take a deep breath and slowly exhale. The warm scent of wood goes to my nose and fills my head. It takes me 3 more breaths until... Huh? This is... the lodge? It's the lodge, isn't it? I quickly jump out of the bed. I stand in the center of the room and look around. There's no mistaking it. This is my bedroom. What's going on? Did the dream I had just now? That's wrong! That's wrong! What am I saying? That wasn't a dream. There's no way that was a dream. Suddenly I hear a sound as violently as a gunshot. I turn around and standing there I see Yuka. Okay. We're gonna save it. That's weird. Oh, that's that linchpin. Let's see here. I have to quit recording, so I will quit. I'll do the load menu, make sure it's there. Okay. So, movies. We've seen the Kurumi loop. CGs. We've seen new scenes, but I don't remember all the scene names. Yep. This one's new. There's 2 variations. And this one. And this one. Okay. We don't know if this is a Kurumi or a Izumi one. But there's at least... Or we don't know if these are Kurumi ones either, but there's at least 2 more. Okay. I'll have to awkwardly and abruptly stop recording.